I can create with concrete, with rubber flags, with sandbags. These are T elements built to create the expansion of this groin we submerged once. This is, you see the waves breaking here, is a submerged expansion of a short groin, which is quite effective. And these are groins, submerged groins we created in 2000. And this is an experimental test. The groins start from the cabanas in Australia, from the dune probably, and you go in the sea. This is the construction. This is, at the end, you see anything, just the breakers here. This area was eroding at 4 meters per year since the early 80s to the construction dates, and we stabilized that without seeing anything, without any landscape impact. We cannot say we stabilized. We say that during the last 10 years it was stable. We are not sure that on the longer term we were successful. This is the construction of the new groins we have done, and you have a movie here to see how we build them. It's very easy because you put the empty tube on the seafloor, you pump, you inject water and sand here. You see, water exits from the pores of the tubes, and the tubes grows. This is after the construction. The tubes enters in the beach, and we had quite good effort. The last way was to modify the morphodynamics of the beach. This is a beach management system. It's a drained beach. How it works? You create a trench, you put some tubes with holes, you cover everything with sand. During the run-up, water infiltrates in the sand, enters the tubes, and goes to this well. In this well, there is a pump which takes water and brings offshore. How it works? The waves arriving to the swash zone bring sand. The backwash brings sand away. If you increase the infiltration, you have more sand arriving than the sand coming away. The beach becomes steeper. You don't have many gravel beaches here, but if you have seen a gravel beach, it's very steep. It's very steep because you have a very much infiltration, because you have accumulation of sand. This system works in the same way. It works in the same way, but I don't know if it works. We have been monitoring 1 year here. We had very good results for 11 months. Then we had very big storms, which arrived to this seawall here, very low, but we had the reflection and we lost all the sand accumulated during the 11 months. So I say generally it works, but we were not lucky in this area. The final solution, which was tested in Australia once and in other places, is the same system of draining, but with vertical tubes, which make a connection, hydraulic connection, between the different layers of the beach. So when the uprush arrives, have more facility to infiltrate. These are tubes placed in lines every 100 meters, and people who sell them say it stabilizes the beach. I know that the experiment in Australia was very bad, and they abandoned it. They are trying to sell this system in other places, but we think that it doesn't work. But there are many experiments. We say experimental or innovative systems. Innovative should be tested systems which proved to work. Most of them are, most of what is sold by commercial enterprise is experimental. We do not have enough time to test them, so we must be very careful to start with this. The last one, I didn't want to, I had no time to put a picture. I was thinking to include it. It's another solution, which is configurational dredging. If you change the bathymetry, you change the wave pattern, okay? Changing the wave pattern, you can take sand in a place, create a hollow, and you change the diffraction pattern of the waves. In this way, you can increase or decrease the wave energy arriving to selected sites. An alternative, I don't think I put it here. No, I'm going in the wrong direction. Sorry. An alternative is a nourishment which creates a salient for surfing. So if you have to make a nourishment, instead of making a nourishment along the shore, you create a shoal offshore which create surfable waves. These will be gradually destroyed by waves, and sediment will be moved onshore and create the beach. So you have a nourishment during the first years, let's say 2 or 3 years, you can improve surfing activity in that area. At the end, I just want to show you a solution we are studying now. Not always an erosion problem needs to be solved with defense structures. This is a small bay where the construction of this breakwater to create a protection for harbors created deposition in this area and erosion here, because wave diffraction pattern was modified. So this area now is more protected. So you have more deposition. You see, this is the present condition, and here you have the energy coming oblique to the coast and pushing sediment in this direction. So you cannot use this harbor no more with a bigger boat. Instead of creating some protection here, of moving continuously sediment from here to the eroding area, this is what happens now, we proposed to recreate the original wave pattern distribution, recreating the headland, the same headland as before. I hope you see these red lines, which are almost parallel to this shoreline, coastal line. So if we create this coastal line, we create the same energy condition inside the bay, and we shall have no more sediment moving longshore. And how to create this new shape of the bay? With the harbor. The shape of this breakwater is approximately the same of the coastline before the construction of the new structure. So the stabilization of this bay will be obtained with a new structure which pays itself, and we have not to pay to stabilize the coast. This is a project I was designing before leaving. That's all. Thank you.